You think you know yourself? Wait until you see this. Before we start, there's something you need to understand. Something most people refuse to face. Personality disorders are not choices. They're not weaknesses. They're not manufacturing defects. They're patterns, deeply engraved, often built in the shadows of childhood, survival mechanisms. Your brain learned to protect you in an environment that didn't. And over time, those protections became automatic, silent, invisible, so deeply rooted that you mistake them for who you are. What you're about to hear is not a diagnosis. It's not a judgment. It's an immersion, a deep dive into what it actually feels like to live with these patterns from the inside. Because understanding is the first step toward something far more rare: compassion for others, and most importantly, for yourself. If this kind of content helps you understand yourself better, make sure you subscribe, because that's exactly where we're going. Type 1. The paranoid profile. You don't trust anyone, not really, not completely, even when you pretend to. Every relationship has an ending that you're already anticipating. You start planning your exit before things have even really begun. Every compliment hides something. Every act of kindness triggers a silent question. What does he really want? Where's the trap? People say you're closed off. You're not closed off. You're prepared, because you learned something very early on. Something no one should have taught you that young. Letting your guard down means getting hurt. You've been betrayed, maybe by your family, maybe by someone you trusted completely, and it changed everything, like a filter placed over the entire world. Today, loyalty feels dangerous, and vulnerability feels like a weapon you'd be handing over yourself. So you watch, you analyze, you notice the inconsistencies no one else sees. You catch when words don't match actions. You tell yourself you're not paranoid. You're just being careful. But there's a price no one sees. You're exhausted, always on edge, always on guard. And somewhere, deep down, you'd love to trust someone. You'd love to relax, just once. But the moment you try, your brain triggers an alarm. And sometimes it's wrong, and you push away people who genuinely cared about you. But you'll never know that. The silent trap. Type 2. The schizoid profile. You don't hate people. You just don't need them. Friday night. Your phone is silent, and you feel good, relieved, almost at peace. Social interactions drain you in a way that's hard to explain. It doesn't come naturally to you. It's a constant effort, but on the inside, you're far from empty. You have an inner world of rare richness, thoughts that build on each other, ideas that intertwine, entire universes no one ever sees. People find you cold, strange, unreachable. But that's not true. You feel things, deeply, sometimes. You just don't feel the need to show it. Relationships aren't the problem. Expectations are. People want you to need them. But you can appreciate someone without constantly craving them. You can be alone without being lonely. But the world is built for those who connect loudly. And you're on the outside, watching. And you wonder sometimes why other people are so afraid of themselves. You're not broken. You're just different. Type 3, the schizotypal profile. You see things others don't. Invisible connections, hidden patterns, coincidences that aren't really coincidences. You're not disconnected from reality, but your reality has more layers than everyone else's. You've always felt apart, like you're tuned to a frequency no one else can pick up. You believe in things most people brush off without a second thought: energy, vibrations, signs, hidden meaning in random events. Others find you strange. They don't understand your connections. So you stopped explaining. You keep it to yourself. Social interactions feel heavy, not because of shyness, but because you process everything at once. The words, what's left unsaid, the energy in the room, the intention behind someone's eyes. It's too much. So you prefer silence, ideas, the invisible. You're not crazy. You simply see a different map of the world. Type 4. The antisocial profile. You figured out very early that the world is a game, and that most people play it badly, out of naivety, out of fear, out of habit. You don't feel guilt the way others do. It's there sometimes, but muffled, distant. People are predictable. You can read them. You know what they want to hear, and you know how to use that. People have called you manipulative, cold, dangerous, but you're not a monster. Your brain just works differently, maybe because of what you've been through, because of what you had to learn just to survive. You feel things differently, less in certain places, and that absence became a strategy, then a shield, then an identity. Type 5, the borderline profile. You don't just feel emotions, you live them intensely. Every feeling is amplified, multiplied. Love becomes obsession. The fear of abandonment becomes physical pain. Anger explodes without warning, then collapses, and leaves massive guilt in its wake. Your emotions are storms, unpredictable, violent, and you don't get to choose when they hit. Someone is 10 minutes late, and you've already lived through everything in your head. Rejection, betrayal, abandonment. Your relationships are intense, all or nothing, perfect or traitor, angel or villain. People told you that you were too much, and it confirmed your deepest fear, that you're not lovable, not really. So you test, you push, you self-sabotage, like you're trying to see if this time they'll stay anyway. And when they leave, you tell yourself you knew it all along. But the pain is real. You're not manipulating anyone. You're drowning every single day. And yet, you're still here. That's not weakness. That's survival. Type 6, the histrionic profile. You need to be seen. Attention isn't a luxury for you. It's vital, like air. When no one notices you, something inside you panics. So you amplify your emotions, your presence, your story, not because it's fake, because it's necessary. You want to exist in other people's eyes. If you're not at the center, you feel like you're disappearing, like you're no one. You love fast, intensely, and you need reassurance. Often, when the attention fades, you turn it up even more. Behind all of it is a child who never wanted to be invisible again, who learned that to exist, you had to perform. Type 7, the narcissistic profile. You're special, you know it. And yet, you need others to confirm it, again and again, because deep down, there's a void you never show anyone. Every validation fills it for a moment, every admiring glance, every success, but never long enough. So you come back for more. Criticism destroys you, even the smallest kind. So you protect yourself. You build an image, a brilliant armor, impenetrable. But behind it is a child who deeply doubted their own worth, and who decided no one would ever see that. Type 8, the avoidant profile. You want to connect. You genuinely want to, deeply, but you're afraid, a visceral fear of rejection, so you avoid. You watch others from a distance. You want to be part of the group, but getting closer feels impossible, too risky, too exposed. So you stay alone, not by choice, not because you prefer it, but because the pain of rejection feels stronger than the desire for connection. Type 9, the dependent profile. You can't be alone. Not really. You need someone to guide you, to reassure you, to make decisions for you. You adapt to others. You become what they expect. You erase your own edges to fit the shape of their life, because their perception of you defines your worth. Conflict terrifies you, because if it ends, you no longer know who you are. You lose the only mirror in which you recognized yourself. Type 10, the obsessive profile. You're not chasing perfection. You depend on it. Everything must be controlled, organized, anticipated. Because chaos terrifies you. Disorder means danger. The unexpected means loss of control, and losing control is unbearable. You lose the present moment. You never truly stop, because stopping means making room for what you're trying to escape. You may have recognized yourself in one profile or in several, and that's okay, because these aren't rigid boxes. They're spectrums, nuances, degrees, and above all, every pattern started as a response, not a pathology, a response from a child who had no other tools, who did what they could with what they had. These patterns are not your enemies. They protected you. They kept the boat afloat when the storm was too strong. But today, maybe the storm has passed, and you're still wearing the armor, in a world that no longer requires it. What was learned can evolve. What was built can be rebuilt differently, with work, with time, with compassion for yourself. You're not broken. You adapted, and what is old can change if you give it the chance. Tell me in the comments which profile resonated with you the most, and subscribe so you don't miss any videos, because we've barely scratched the surface.